In Week 4, the NFL, Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs rebounded from their close defeats against the Ravens and the Chargers with a 42-30 win against the Philadelphia Eagles as Mahomes threw for 5 touchdowns, including 3 touchdown passes to wide receiver Tyreek Hill. Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals look like the team to beat in the NFC West Division and the NFC Conference as well, as they are now 4-0 as they defeated the Los Angeles Rams 37-20. Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers handed Ben Roethlisberger and the Pittsburgh Steelers their third straight loss with a 27-17 victory. On Sunday Night Football, Tom Brady and the defending Super Bowl champions, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, went into Foxborough, Massachusetts to Gillette Stadium as Brady faced the team that he called home for 20 seasons, the New England Patriots. It rained all Sunday night, but it was a great game. In the game, Brady passed one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, Drew Brees, as now Brady is now the all-time leader in passing yards, and Brady threw for 269 yards. Ryan Suckup put the Buccaneers up with a 48-yard field goal, up 19-17 with 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Patriots rookie quarterback Matt Jones drove New England down to get them in the prime position for a potential game-winning field goal, but Nick Folk missed the 56-yard field goal, and Brady now etches his name into history as he joins Brett Favre, Peyton Manning, and Drew Brees as the only quarterbacks to defeat all 32 teams in the National Football League. And on Monday Night Football, the Los Angeles Chargers handed the Las Vegas Raiders their first loss as the Chargers won 28-14. Tonight, our Nation Sports Show recaps Week 4 and previews Week 5's games in the NFL. The Nation speaks to you next. From the gridiron to the court, talking all things sports. Members of the Buzzard Open Nation bring to you our Nation Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Ezra Vickery, Joey Thornton, Kevin Rorie, and Stephen Wyand.
Oh yeah, here we go, folks. It is time once again for another week of sports talk here on our Nation Sports Show. We are live as always. We thank everybody joining us right now and, of course, watching this later on YouTube. We got a lot to talk about, boys. We got a lot to get into. Another great week of football in the NFL. Some quick news notes on that front, including some trades and releases being made. Of course, we got to get into the a couple of very newsworthy notes, including NBA, NHL, and even a quick little MLB note because the postseason has begun in there as well. But we'll get into that in just a few minutes. Of course, we got to get through the specifics of the beginning of the show, which is, of course, how you can interact with us. First way is our social media. You can hit us up on Twitter at ON_sports show. We post, of course, throughout the week about the latest happenings in the world of sports. You can hit us up there if you have any questions. Or if you want to leave a comment throughout the show, we'll find you there and we'll read it on air. Also, Facebook as well. Go to facebook.com, search Our Nation Sports Show, follow us there, hit the like button, and share our page because we love to get more followers and we appreciate all the support from you guys. Without your support, we are nothing on this show. And then, of course, we got to go, of course, to YouTube. Go to youtube.com and search Our Nation Sports Show on there. Subscribe to our page and share it, please. We need to get to 100 likes so we can get that custom URL so it's a lot easier for all of you to find us. And also, getting us up to 100 puts us further and further into possibly getting monetized in the future. So definitely we love the support on there as well. And then finally, Discord. You can follow us at discord.gg/thenationscorner. You can find us on there. You can also find the Our Nation Sports Show text channel and voice channel. You can join us on the voice channel if you want to quote unquote call in and interact with us live on the show and talk some sports with us. Now that we got that out of the way, and of course, we paid the bills, quote unquote. Yeah, well, none of us are getting paid. But now that we paid the bills, we can go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and introduce the crew here. We got, of course, our good buddy here, the man himself, Mr. Kevin Rorie, joining us. Kevin, what's going on, man?
What's up, everybody? What's up?
All right, and then we got with us our other good buddy here, the man himself, Mr. JT Joseph Thornton. I wasn't talking about Justin Timberlake, but he's pretty close. Joseph Thornton, what's going on, buddy? How you doing?
What's going on, football fans around the world? I hope you guys are ready for another action-packed show because we're going to bring it here live tonight.
Absolutely. And, of course, we can't forget, man, the patriarch of this damn show itself. As I always say, my hard rock heavy metal brother from North Kakalaki. Man, without this dude, the show wouldn't exist. The one, the only, Stephen Wyand. Stephen, what's going on, brother?
What's going on, boys? How we doing out there? Let's talk some football. Let's go.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, usually sometimes we'll throw one or two little off-topic notes here throughout the show because we try to stick to the sports thing. But of course, me, Steven, being hard rock heavy metal fans, I want to throw out two quick well wishes, and that is to the original drummer for Kix, Jimmy Chocolate Chalfant, who was recovering from a heart attack that he had in his home. He's the original drummer for Kix, been around since the early 80s. Wish him all the best. And, of course, all the best to Judas Priest guitarist Richie Faulkner, only 41 years old, had a ruptured aorta during a performance at a festival. In the final song, he's doing okay. He was released from the hospital today after a 10-plus hour surgery last week to repair his aorta. We wish Richie Faulkner all the best in his recovery and hope to see him back on stage rocking with the mighty Priest soon. But now let's get straight into it, guys. What's up? All right, you guys, let's get right into this bitch. We're ready. Let's rock and freaking roll, and let's talk a little NFL. And what a crazy week 4 was, man. We had some great games. Looking at the barrel again. Some crazy games. The Cowboys once again continuing their role. The Giants finally winning a game. Who would have thought? Cleveland barely squeaking by Minnesota. Chicago and Justin Fields finally showing up. Looked really good. And we'll get into that discussion in a little bit later. But let's go ahead. Let's get into the big games this week. Let's get right into the game that we were talking about last week. And that is, of course, Tom Brady's return to Foxborough. Of course, Tampa Bay Bucs and New England Patriots in a very tight game, shockingly.
Yes.
And it ended with the score 19-17. And Tom Brady accomplished his goal of not only beating his former team, but also having to defeat all 32 NFL teams. Steven, I want to start with you, buddy. Your thoughts on that game and the fact that Tom Brady has set another record as a quarterback here in the NFL.
Well, I tell you what, first of all, that game was a really, really close game, shockingly. And I thought it was a great game. It was a lot of high, intense drama. There was a couple of times that the game could have gone either way because the Patriots had the Bucs on the ropes at times. And then there were times the Buccaneers had the Patriots on the ropes. And Brady had chances to put some points on the board with touchdowns, but he didn't throw any touchdowns because you give credit to the Patriots defense in that game. They were prepared. They came locked in, ready to go. And Matt Jones, man, he might be a rookie, but that kid is so good right now. And mad props to Jones because he gave it his all in that game against the Buccaneers. And just a great game by both teams. Of course, Brady obviously etching his name into history, defeating every team in the NFL. I mean, it's not surprising. He's Tom Brady. And just what else can I say? Hey, hell of a career. And the guy he never seems to want to stop. I mean, he's even said, I want to play till I'm 50. Well, the way he's been playing, it looks like he might be doing that, because I'm telling you, just all around great game. Just loved it.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a great game. Mac Jones, 31 for 40, 275 yards, 2 touchdowns, only 1 pick. Great performance by Mac Jones. Tom Brady on his side of the ball, 22 for 43, 269 yards, no touchdowns, but no picks as well. And then, of course, on that side, Leonard Fournette with 20 carries, 92 yards, and Ronald Jones with 6 carries for 25 yards and a TD. So while it was a very tight game on both sides of the coin, Mac Jones seemed to almost have a better performance than Tom that night. But I think the 1 interception plus a few other quick stats, I think is what gave the Patriots, or what gave the Bucks the victory, including the rushing yards, which rushing yards are 120 to -1 in favor of Tampa Bay. New England also lost a fumble as well as an interception, which are 2 key components there as well, which contributed to, unfortunately, their loss. They're down to 1-3 now, while the Patriots move up to 3-1. Kevin, your thoughts on the game? Your thoughts on the game and the performances of both quarterbacks?
Well, for Tom Brady to be able to beat his old team and beat all 32 teams in the NFL and pass Drew Brees for the most yards all time in the same night is pretty incredible. And I know it's an opinion kind of statement, but if you must be crazy if you say anybody other than Tom Brady is the GOAT. I mean, I love Joe Montana, but you got to give your hats off to Tom Brady. And the fact that he comes out there every night or every Sunday and plays his heart out while being 43 years of age just goes to show you everything you're taught in middle school and high school, that your coach teaches you, that the game is majority mental. It's about mental. It's the game's everything physical, or your physicality, all that comes, but the most of the games is mental. And Tom Brady is showing us that each week and each year that he's continuing to play at a very high level at that. But I'm impressed that Bill Belichick did have a game plan for Tom, as of you said, with no touchdowns, but with no turnovers. Tom ain't going to turn the ball over anyway. But Belichick did what he had to. He had a good defensive game plan, I think. And Belichick was probably, with a rookie quarterback, he's 1 4th down conversion going for it away from possibly winning by a field goal at the end of it. So I think it was a good fight by New England, and Tampa's got to step it up. Their defense has been a little shady to start the season. Not as impressive as I thought they would be, but knowing Tampa, they're the one team I cannot judge because of Tom Brady. He's proved that year in and year out that the Patriots, even with the Patriots, he'll start off slow. They'll start off only like 3-2 or something, and then they're in the Super Bowl. So Tampa, I will not put no judgment on that team.
Yeah, absolutely. Tampa Bay, yeah, they definitely need to step it up. There's a few things that I even noticed that they seem to be a little lackluster in what they've been previously, defensively. They need to really put everything together. It seems like they're a little bit shaky in certain aspects, but New England played their hearts out. They played really, really great ball. Just a couple of critical errors is what cost them, but I really think that in a few years, I think they're going to be a team to be reckoned with. Mac Jones putting on great performances every week despite the losses. It's only going to be a learning experience for him. It shows and not only that, but for this young team in general, it show what they did wrong, what they could improve on, and I can see in a year or two they could be a threat in their division. They could be even possibly a playoff contender. So I really, really see that from New England. And of course, Tom Brady to go, like you said, most passing yards of all time, passing Drew Brees, beating all 32 NFL teams. The guy is the GOAT. As long as, anybody could be the GOAT. It could be Joe Montana. It could be Tom Brady. It could be Joe Theismann. Hell, it could be an actual GOAT. As long as it ain't Aaron Rodgers, I'm cool with that. Of course, sorry, jaded Bears fan here. But let's go. Speaking of jaded fans, Joseph Thornton, it's your take now on the whole game this week with Tom Brady returning to Foxborough, and your thoughts on the game and the performances of both QBs.
You know, I have to say, when I saw Tom Brady take the field for the first time, as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer, I thought he was going to revert back to his old Tom Brady days, to where he had a bunch of time in the pocket, all the time to throw in the world, making crisp throws, crisp passes, and honestly, that offensive line from Tampa really let him down. I will say that, because here was a man, in no way am I downgrading Tom Brady here, because I agree with all you guys. Tom Brady is the absolute GOAT. We don't have to like him, but we sure as hell have to respect him. But if you can have all the time in the world up in New England to throw balls and to throw absolute bombs to receivers and tight ends, you would have the best time in the world. And that's what Tom Brady had in New England. But as of what we're seeing right now this season, he does not have it in Tampa Bay. Because, the guy goes in and completes just over 50% of his passes and no touchdowns. I give my props to New England. Bill Belichick, like you guys have said, came in with an absolute game plan. An absolute defensive-minded game plan that proved that just for 1 week, Mac Jones actually outplayed Tom Brady at the quarterback position. But, like you guys have said, Brady is the GOAT. He's the leader in all-time passing yards. He's beaten all 32 NFL teams, joining Breeze, Favre, and Peyton Manning. But, the Bucs need to revamp their offensive line, because if the offensive line keeps going into games like that against defensive-minded teams, and there's quite a few defensive-minded teams out there, don't get me wrong, but if that offensive line continues to struggle like it has, Brady may not be playing until he's 50. That's just my opinion.
You got a point, because when you look at the offensive lines that he had in the Patriots, like you were talking about, he had all time to throw a lot of the times because the pocket was clean and the offensive line knew how to do their job and played their roles. And their one defensive blow in the game against the Patriots with Jones, and honestly, like you guys were saying, I think Jones, in a way, outplayed Brady. You guys have a very valuable point with that, because if Belichick was more aggressive with Jones, I think they would have beat the Bucs. And, I think they should have gone for it on fourth and 2, because if he gets a 10-yard completion, well, that's 10 less yards of a field goal.
In the rain.
Yep, and it was in the rain.
Yeah.
But what I was just saying, and it goes to show, I know the Bucs offensive line is very suspect. Their defense is looking suspect. Granted, they're down about 4 or 5 DBs now, but
I do not trust their defense at all.
Tom Brady's teams are going to be Tom Brady's teams. I have no doubt in my mind their offensive line with Tristan Wirfs is going to step up come week 10 or 11. Just got to hope Brady makes it to 10 and 11 without getting teed off on. But if they can make it then, come playoff time, it's like what that people say Kansas City can do. Just flip the switch on and go take care of business. I think their offensive line is going to do that. I think the only thing my concern is, can they keep a consistent running game? You don't want your 43-year-old quarterback. Granted, I said he brings the mental to the game. You don't want him throwing Patrick Mahomes 400-yard games. You want him to do what he's always been in New England, which Shannon Sharp had said on with Skip Bayless. He has always been one of the best game manager of all time, pretty much. Go out there, don't turn the ball over, let your defense do what they do. Adam Vinatieri for the win. It's been like that, and it's going to continue to be that way.
Exactly, and not to mention that if you compare Tom Brady's stats for Week 3 and Week 4 and put them together, he has thrown the ball 98 times and combined in the last 2 weeks. 55 times in Week 3 and 43 in Week 4. I mean,
that's insane. That is insane.
That is absolutely insane. I mean,
let's be honest. I mean, if their running game is doing good, because let's be honest, fellas, in the playoffs last year, their running game was absolutely killing it. Leonard Fournette was doing his job. And, we were talking about that game last year with the Super Bowl and how we thought Tampa Bay was going to win this. Well, me and Stephen P.A. were, and Steve was like, I think they need to unleash hell, which is Fournette on the Chiefs. And he was absolutely right and spot on. Because what led the Tampa Bay Super Bowl win last year was the balanced attack of Brady and the receivers and the running game. And their defense, we keep on saying this, and we're going to keep saying it again, their defense is not the same like it was last year. I do not trust Tampa Bay's defense right now because they're giving up points, and they're on the verge of giving up even more points if the head coaches are going to be aggressive. Because if Belichick was aggressive against the Buccaneers defense, they would have won that game, and Brady would not be etching his name into history, joining Favre, Manning, and Breeze, beating all 32 teams.
Yes, see, and Steven, it all goes back to what I said on my very first show whenever it was just the two of us.
Yep.
I said that any team can get beat on any given Sunday because every NFL team is vulnerable. Every team is vulnerable.
And if you think about it, not only like you said, their defense is more likely suspect. Their offensive line is more likely suspect. It's not the strongest offensive line they have. Also, you think of all the times he's thrown. He's not only is he missing 4 players on the defensive side, you forget he's also missing his favorite target, Rob Gronkowski, who's early out with those broken ribs and that possible punctured lung.
Yep.
Then you know that a good majority of the throws that Tom throws goes to Gronk, especially when Gronk gets out on that outer edge and heads to it gets into those plays that opens up those lanes for Tom. But the problem is, like you said, let's just hope that Tom makes it to week 10, week 11, is able to make those great performances, because that offensive line continues to be suspect. They're gonna open up times where Tom could get dinged by a good player. Next thing you know, Tom's out for a couple games.
Yep.
And also, he shouldn't be while he's throwing these 40 plus, making these 40 plus attempts. To me, I think that's while quarterbacks nowadays are used to that, Tom's got to be careful throwing that much, because if you think about it, you're wearing yourself down with each throw throughout the season. All it takes is one too many throws. You could throw that rotator cuff out. You could injure that elbow, that hand. All it takes is one wrong throw or one too many throws. Next thing you know, you're out for a couple games. And I think that with this that suspect offensive line, Tom's opening himself up to getting hurt. So
yes,
exactly.
I agree, and that goes back to their offensive line. Their offensive line, knowing Tom Brady, I know I'm just a Madden GM here, but Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, Brady don't use receivers like that. Honestly, I would honestly look to shop one of them to upgrade my offensive line. If that came down to it, because look at the running backs on the roster and look at the talent they have, and you're telling me they can't run the ball worth of crap? That is an offensive line issue. They can't get penetrated, or they can't open up no holes. I mean, you got Leonard Fournette, Ronald Jones, Giovanni Bernard. You got all them guys, and they can't. You
got all these running backs that should be running the ball tremendously, and the offensive line is not doing their job. Exactly, because the offensive line is not doing what they're supposed to do.
I would shop one.
You can have all the talent in the world. Yeah, I mean, you could have all the talent in the world on the offensive side of the ball. If the offensive line is not doing their job, the quarterback, the running backs, the receivers are not going to be performing at a high level.
And see, and just like Ezra said, it takes one bad throw to tear a rotator cuff or tear a shoulder or something like that.
Remember back in 2005 or whatever year it was when Brady, had that run from 2001 to 2005, all those Super Bowls, basically, all that throwing, and he had a shoulder injury. Took him out.
Let's see. And just like it takes one hit to ruin a superstar's career.
Mm-hmm.
You can ask Tom Brady himself that back in 2008 when he got hurt and suffered that leg injury.
By Pollard. Opening game against Kansas City. Yep.
Any injury will ruin a superstar's career like that. If you don't believe me, ask Peyton Manning in 2015 after that foot injury. Never was the same.
Mm-hmm. Nope.
Hey, ask Joe Theismann when he got his leg crushed by Lawrence Taylor in that game so many years ago. He never played another down of football again.
Nope.
That's the thing is about Tom. Tom needs to pace himself better. That's Tom, especially in his case, he's throwing way too much. And I understand that he wants to be able to give all of his targets a chance. But in also trying to break records, do whatever, be the quarterback that he's always known to be. But you gotta understand also, this, Kevin. You've been in sports. You know this better than anybody. It's all about pacing yourself. It's all about, whether it's, you don't have to throw 42 times to be the best. You could throw 22 times, 25 times, have 300 plus yards because you're making great plays.
Yep.
Tom does not need to throw 50 plus yards every game. That's going to wear on him eventually, and that's going to lead to problems.
Got to. And it's more of a mentality of it's a marathon, not a sprint. Pace yourself. Pace yourself for the long run. Gear up for the long haul. Bill Belichick, all them years with Brady, he wasn't fronting no 2 or 3 losses in the regular season at the beginning. He knew that ain't what they were going to do in the playoffs. They flipped that switch, which is I'm hoping Bruce Arians has a little bit more common sense than that and can be able to do the same thing. Pace time. Okay, if the run game don't work, do like last year. Go get beat by the Saints 38-0. Just don't have Tom. Don't sacrifice Tom throwing the ball 60 times because what happened? They lost 38-0 and came back in the playoffs and beat the hell out of the Saints. So, there's your proof right there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's move on to one of the other big games, and of course, that's the Monday night game. The Raiders and the Chargers. Chargers beating the Raiders 28-14. Herbert is the first quarterback since 1950 to reach 500 plus completions before his 20th start.
Wow.
As a little factoid there. Before we get deep into the discussion, real quick, a couple quick stats here, of course. Derek Carr, 21 for 34, 196 yards, 2 touchdowns and an interception. Josh Jacobs had 13 carries for 40 yards. Henry Ruggs III had 3 carries for 60 yards. Darren Waller had 4 carries for 50 yards, and Hunter Renfro got 6 carries, 45 yards, and a TD. So good playing there. And the Chargers, though, Justin Herbert had 25 for 38, 222 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Here we go, right here, rushing. Austin Eckler, 15 carries, 117 yards, and a TD. Larry Roundtree, 11 carries for 31 yards, and Jared Cook, 6 receptions, 70 yards, and a TD. And that's pretty much it on the big stats on that. But you see, like, it was a great game. I unfortunately didn't get to watch the whole game because I was working, of course, but I did get to see some of the highlights, and it looked like a really good game. Let's start with let's go with Joe here. Joe, your thoughts on the that great Monday night game between the Raiders and the Chargers? Both teams now at 3-1 in their respective divisions, so it's still a pretty tight knit race here all around the NFL with these teams, especially with it being early. What are your thoughts on that game?
No doubt, it was an absolute shootout. The Chargers did win by 2 touchdowns. And yes, the Chargers did outplay the Raiders pretty much all night. But you have 2 amazing future hotshot young quarterbacks in Justin Herbert and Derek Carr. And I mean, I'm surprised the score was like it was because I thought it was going to be an offensive shootout. But Herbert once again proved why he is the undisputed future in San Diego. I mean, Herbert in just last year and, of course, this year now has 6 games where he has thrown for 3 touchdowns and no picks. I mean, 6 games already in his young career, and he's already putting up numbers like this. I mean, Herbert, he wasn't really heard of much when he was at Oregon in college. But that's because whenever you're in college, that's when you get your feet wet. That's when you really start to build up your status, I guess you can say. Whereas whenever you make it to the NFL, that's when everybody expects you to say, hey, this kid came up from college. Hopefully he'll be good. Well, Herbert is no doubt proving himself. I mean, Herbert is a great young quarterback. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't put him on the level of a Josh Allen or a Patrick Mahomes just yet, but Herbert is slowly making his way to that Allen Mahomes hotshot level. And if Herbert continues to play like he has week after week, there's no doubt he's going to reach that status sooner rather than later.
I agree with that. Absolutely. Justin Herbert is, like you said, he wasn't a guy that was heard of much, but in his college days, but now he's really starting to show that, hey, I'm an elite quarterback. I could do this. And he's really putting on some excellent performances, whether it's been a defeat or whatever. He's really, really showing that, hey, look, you may have not heard of me in college, but you're going to hear of me now. You know, I'm going to show out and prove that, you know, I'm not just some unknown guy who doesn't have a reputation. I'm going to come out there and prove that I'm one of the elite quarterbacks in the entire NFL and prove people wrong.
See, and not to mention, I want to throw this in there real quick.
Yeah.
Herbert can also somewhat tell the future because I saw an old assignment that he did back when he was like 9 years old in grade school saying how he was going to be a quarterback for the Chargers. Back when he was 9 years old, and look where he is now.
Yep. Yep.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and predict the future that Jets won't ever win shit in their whole damn next 10 years. So that's a pretty safe pick for me. But with the game Monday night, guys, I didn't get to watch all of it because somebody has to call a weather delay in a dome. First of all, I know John Gruden was living about that.
How the fuck do you call a weather delay?
A weather delay inside a dome with the roof closed. Oh, we can't play. It's raining. There ain't no rain touch the field, but it's raining and lightning. Can't play.
Seriously,
it's like calling a tornado warning in Dallas because there won't be a touchdown anyways.
Well,
yes,
but yeah, with Justin Herbert, man, he keeps playing the way he does. You got to put him up there with Kyler Murray and Josh Allen as the top 5 MVP talks because of the game he put on against Patrick Mahomes in a showdown. Then the undisputed 3-0 Vegas Raiders, he put them to shame and showed out against them in a hostile divisional game. So Justin Herbert is up there. They got a good defense. And people take for granted everybody thinks it should be a 40-plus point game for either one of the teams, but people's actually forgetting that the Chargers and the Raiders both have pretty underrated defenses. Joey Bosa anchoring the Chargers defense with Derwin James back there, and then you got Gus Bradley, who, as everybody knows, the Legion of Boom Seattle, 2013.
Absolutely.
Defensive coordinator anchoring the Raiders, which the Raiders don't have many defensive stars, but with Gus Bradley, he can guarantee to actually be a top 10, top 15 defense.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Let's see a couple quick more stats here, real quick, before we move on. Before we move to Steven and his points, basically the Chargers led in everything: total yards, passing yards, rushing yards, average yards per play, points scored, time of possession. They led in everything. Listen to this. Listen to this. Quick little stat deficiency here. Right here in this when it comes to total yards. This one right here blew me away. It's a pretty big deficiency here, and it's right here, total yards, Chargers 380, Raiders 213. So a 167-yard deficiency between those two teams kind of tells the story there. Steven, your thoughts on this big Monday night game between the Raiders and the Chargers?
Well, first of all, how the hell do you have a weather delay in a dome? Second of all, I was actually not surprised that the Chargers won this game.
Somebody cracked the top of the dome.
Boom. Cracked the top of Derek Carr's dome.
Well, yeah. But
ouch.
Justin Herbert is you know what? To me, he is the future of the NFL. Him along with Josh Allen. Those are the two quarterbacks, along with Mahomes. Those are the three quarterbacks that are the future of this league. And I think that Herbert is the answer to LA. I think that this dude is going to have a great career. And I did not know that he predicted at 9 years old, I'm going to be with the Chargers. And look where he's at now. He is playing at a high elite level, and just his numbers are going literally, yes, Chad, yes, literally through the roof. And I think that the Chargers this year are in a good spot to win the division because they've already beat the Chiefs and they've already beat the Raiders. And during that game, the Raiders had chances to make it even closer because they were down 21-14. And the Vegas turned the ball over. I'm like, well, they missed the field goal. And I'm like, well, there goes that, because that right there would have made it even more interesting. And then obviously LA capitalized on the missed field goal, and just they completely outperformed Vegas in all aspects of the game. And the stats reflect it. Offense, defense, special teams, time of possession, all those numbers like you just set out, Ezra. And I think that if they beat Denver now, I really think this is LA's division to lose, because they would have now beaten every team in their division. And just Vegas, like we were saying in the pre-show, this is now their time to screw up everything. And I know Hijacker Mike would be so happy about that, because after they left Oakland to go to Vegas, he's like, man, they're traitors. I'm like, I know, right? They go to the big city, big state, And I mean, is Derek Carr playing good? Yes, he is. But I think Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes are going to outperform him in the AFC West this year.
Yeah, he truly is the future for this league. Between him, Josh Allen, Kyler Murray, and Tom Brady. Can't forget Tom Brady. He's going to be 70 years old, still playing. So, yep, he's the future. That's a fuel for future horsemen.
Hey, not to mention, the Chargers did outplay the Raiders, but they also outsmarted them when they bid when the Raiders went for the fake field goal punt late in the fourth quarter of that game.
Yep.
Very, very good points. Let's go ahead and move forward a little bit. Let's go to another good game. Let's talk about the looking through the scores here. Let's talk about the another great game. Let's talk about the Seahawks and the 49ers.
Oh boy, we better
buddy.
What do you mean great?
Kevin go last on this one.
Great on whose part?
Go last.
I would talk about the Packers game, but then I figured that would be about 15 minutes of breath wasted. No, I'm kidding. No. The Green Bay Steelers game was a very good game. Aaron Rodgers once again showed out on that one. We got to give praise to him, even though I'm dying inside doing it.
Yes.
Yeah, he had a great game, unfortunately,
And he also tied. He saw 6 overall touchdown passes, tying himself with Dan Marino at 420.
yes, he did. Great job. 2
Still
touchdowns.
gonna stay on my same train about Big Ben though. Retire now.
Retire now.
Yeah, I was actually about to bring that up, and I was gonna say, and yet we saw another week of Big Ben crashing and burning like he always does.
Third
Look like a
consecutive
damn
loss for
freak.
Pittsburgh.
He look like a damn tree. He can't move. He falls straight over.
Yes.
Hey, just like Kevin with last week, he called Big Ben a lip doodle last week.
That's what he is. I guess we can officially write the Pittsburgh Steelers the new Dorito bag nacho year. Extra salty. Pittsburgh Steeler edition. This ain't their year.
Hey kids, you want the new nacho? You want the new Doritos bag? It's nacho year, the Pittsburgh Steelers edition.
Yeah, the nacho. How about the nacho decade one? That can go to Jacksonville.
Oh God, yes.
Yes.
Or the Jets and the Giants.
And the Jets. Yep. And the Jets.
Wait, while we're talking about this weekend, I want to give a shout out to the city of New York. Holy shit, both the Giants and the Jets win on the same day.
It's a miracle.
It will never happen in the next 10 years again.
It's a miracle.
Absolute miracle.
The Giants finally won. The Giants finally won a fucking game. Eddie Trump is jumping up for joy.
Finally.
Probably most exercise he's ever gotten. No, I'm kidding. We love Eddie Trump. Let's move on. Let's pick another game. You know what? Let's talk about. I'm biased on this one. Let's talk about the Bears. I mean, wrong. It was against the Lions, but still, Justin Fields had a good game. He had a real good game, but despite no touchdowns thrown, he didn't throw any picks.
Nope.
He still had over 200 yards, 11 for 17, 209 yards. Actually, he threw one pick, but still, they still won by 10 points. Despite Jared Goff throwing 2 touchdowns and throwing for almost 300 passing yards. Jared Goff put on a show, but even then, to me, it was the Bears defense once again that, of course, saved the day on that.
Absolutely.
Detroit lost 2 fumbles. And allowed 4 sacks in that game. So, but the Bears, they were close on total yards, dominated in passing yards. Actually, no, they actually dominated in rushing yards and average yards per play and a couple other stats. But the Bears did a great job in that game. Justin Fields did great. They announced, of course, Justin Fields will be the starter throughout the rest of the season.
I know you're happy about that, Ezra.
Oh, I know you might be heard about something else, though. I don't know. I think I read this correctly, but the Bears are supposed to be missing David Montgomery for an extended period of time.
Yes.
Yeah, he hyperextended. His knee last game.
Yep.
But luckily, they said there was no big structural damage, though. It looked like it was just a standard hyperextension because he walked off the field under his own power. He didn't have much of a hobble. He didn't need to be carted off. So it looked like he might be out for a couple of weeks with a little bit of just probably some sensitivity and some swelling in the knee. But I think he'll be fine.
Yeah.
I know that despite being snake bitten by that, he did score the 2 touchdowns. 2 of the touchdowns the Bears had, but even Damian Williams had a great game. 8 carries for 55 yards. He had a touchdown as well. The best game goes to Darnell Mooney, who had 5 receptions for 125 yards.
The game I want to go ahead, Kevin.
I was going to say Justin Fields. He knows how to sling that ball, which is something that Andy Dalton has pretty much never done in his 10-plus year career. I will say that.
It's a matter of him getting comfortable. I think after that first game, he was a little shook. It's his first official full career start. He never really got to really prove who he was. And now that he's got that out of the way, I think he's starting to get a little bit more confident. I think his throw is getting a little bit more sharper. Despite not scoring any touchdowns, I think he's starting to get his rhythm in. And I think as he progresses, wins or losses despite, I think Justin will end up being a great quarterback. I just don't – it's going to be just like I said, it's going to be up to the future. It's going to be if he can stay healthy, if he can stay confident, if he doesn't let things like getting sacked a bunch of times and all that rattle him. He needs to just mentally needs to stay focused and
Right.
needs to stay ready for those type of situations. He needs not panic when he's the pocket's closing in on him too, which is something I noticed in his first game was when the pocket began to close, he threw it out, and that's what caused a couple of interceptions in that first start he had.
Right.
Yeah.
There's two games I want to talk about.
What's
First
up?
is
Bring them on, Steven.
first game is the Kansas City and Philadelphia game, and boy, Patrick Mahomes, man, he came out focused in this game. 5 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns to Tyreek Hill, and they put up 42 points. But the one concern that I still have for Kansas City going forward this year is their defense. They still gave up 30 points to Philadelphia. And I mean, they were great, don't get me wrong, but if Kansas City if they're gonna win their division and go far the rest of the way this year into the postseason later on, they're gonna have to get that defense to play better. I mean, it's just their defense is very suspect.
Here's one thing, Steven, before we let the other guys speak, is that this is what I was talking about earlier with Tom Brady. Tom Brady does not need to throw 40 plus attempts every game.
Exactly.
Look at these stats for Patrick Mahomes. 24 for 30, 278 yards, 5 touchdowns, 1 pick. Look at the amount of damage he did in 278 yards.
Passes.
In 30 passes and 278 yards. That proves right there you don't need to throw 40 plus yards a game.
Nope. Exactly.
That's what I was talking about at the beginning of the show. But yeah, I mean, Clyde Edwards-Helaire had a great game as well. 14 carries, 102 yards. Darrell Williams had a touchdown. Of course, Tyreek Hill, 11 receptions for 186 yards and 3 TDs. So that is one of Tyreek Hill's best games he's ever had. That is a hell of a game for Tyreek.
Yes, it is.
Man, they absolutely lit Philly up. But like you said, the biggest concern is the defense because they let 30 points go, which should never happen with a team that is as good as Kansas City is.
And a team that's not consistent like Philadelphia. I mean, come on.
Absolutely. Philadelphia are currently 1-3. Kansas City is 2-2. Kevin, your thoughts on this game?
Kansas City was out to prove a point. You had people like us in the sports world doubting them, worried about them, like, hold up now, everybody's closing the gap on you, Kansas City. Where's Tyreek Hill? Where's Mahomes being Mahomes magic? Where's all that at? And they come out and have a big game offensively. But what's going to hurt them down the road is it always stands true since the game first ever came out. Defense wins championships. This defense is not capable of winning a championship. I will tell you this now. If they were, and
this is
I'm
not
hoping,
the 20.
I know it's getting ahead of ourselves on the show, but Buffalo will prove that point that their defense is going to be their kryptonite to Mahomes. They can't stop anybody. Josh Allen will throw the ball all over the field on them.
Yep. This is not the 2019 Super Bowl 54 defense that won them the championship against San Francisco.
Not at all. Now you pay, yet again, it goes to how a lot of people are in the league. They get paid, they stop producing. Chris Jones gets that big ass contract, and I haven't heard his name barely since. Tyrann Mathieu, they want to pay him, and to me, he's a very overrated safety. I know that's not the most popular opinion, but just from how I see, he can't play tight ends up the field. That's proven. I've watched the Chargers literally throw all over him. Jared Cook can't. I just don't see it.
No, definitely not. Joe, your thoughts?
Well, I'm going to start off by saying, all hail King Tyreek. Because he once again proved himself. But you guys are right. I mean, I just have one small, minor thought about that game.
Okay.
I mean, obviously the Chiefs played well. I mean, Mahomes got back on track, but my one little thought here is the Chiefs had better be thanking their lucky stars that they have a quarterback like Mahomes. Because if they did not have a quarterback like Mahomes with this same team defense, the Chiefs would be the Chiefs would be winless right now.
Agree.
And if Cleveland would have capitalized on some of the mistakes they made in the first game, they might be 0-3.
Yeah.
I mean, the Chiefs would be nowhere near the top with that defense if they did not have a quarterback like Mahomes. I mean, Mahomes literally saves that offense week after week.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think that there's a point at which Mahomes is going to get sick of it. I hope he doesn't, but the way that defense just continues to fall apart week after week, I mean, Mahomes is eventually going to get sick of it and probably want to go elsewhere. I mean, I hope it never happens, but it sure seems like it right now.
Agree.
And then the second game I want to talk about is Arizona shocking the Los Angeles Rams. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. That was a massive performance by Arizona. Kyler Murray, MVP possibly? Cannot believe it's coming out of my mouth. Kyler Murray, MVP candidate. The dude is playing great football. And that defense is swarming. Man, Arizona is playing so good. So good. 4-0. Matthew Stafford did not look the same way he did in the first 2 weeks for LA. They swarmed him, sacked him. Oh, man, they played so well. That was a great performance by Arizona.
I agree. Arizona was blitzing any chance they get, pressuring the quarterback, closing the pocket on him so he had no room to throw, and they made some great defensive plays. On the offensive side of the ball, they did really well too. Like you said about Kyler Murray, 24 for 32, 268, 2 TDs. Chase Edmonds had 12 carries for 120 yards. And James Conner had 18 carries for 50 yards with 2 touchdowns of his own. It was a little bit more quieter on the reception on the throwing side of the ball, but still, I mean, they had 2 touchdowns, one for Max Williams and one for AJ Green. DeAndre Hopkins and AJ Green and Williams all had great games, each averaging between 5 to 7 yards a carry. So, or actually no more than that, more like 10 or 11 yards a carry. So they were doing really, really good. But yeah, like you said, Matt Stafford was not the same Matt Stafford from the past couple of weeks. It was a very different Matt Stafford. I don't think this is going to predict the future for Stafford and the Rams. I think the Rams are still, one of the top 5 teams, if not 3 teams to beat in the entire NFL. They're insanely good on all sides of the football. I think this is I said this way before the season started. I said that Matt Stafford would once he finds the right system, I think he would be the quarterback of the future. I think his time in Detroit, he just didn't have the right system of players and coaches to help improve himself. And to me, I think with the system that he has right now in LA, I think he is shining better than he has ever had in his career. And I think this veteran right here, Matt Stafford, I think he's going to be an absolute force to be reckoned with throughout the rest of the season.
Absolutely.
I don't think this loss is a detriment at all to the team, a detriment to their playoff hopes or anything. They're still 3-1. They're still near the top of their division. They're still an excellent team. And I just don't see this being any sort of down moment for them. They'll recover. They'll come back and they'll kick ass. So,
Absolutely. I mean,
yeah.
because sometimes you play better football teams that are well put together when it comes to coaching and game planning and all that. And Arizona is a great team in that division. And that's going to be LA's kryptonite is Arizona, because the Cardinals have a team right now that is focused.
Absolutely. They have an impressive team on all sides, all facets of the ball. You take a look at some of the stats. No, there were no sacks. There were no sacks on from any of the Cardinals players. Not even JJ Watt.
Wow.
Which is a very rare occurrence for a JJ Watt performance. As you know, JJ is one of the best pursuers in all of football. He gets in there and he's unstoppable. He goes in there and goes for the kill. So like I said, Arizona allowed 3 sacks, but still, third down efficiency, Arizona as well, time of possession, Arizona. So Arizona led a lot of different categories that LA didn't. So your guys' thoughts, Kevin, go to you. Your thoughts on the game.
Well, when you got a quarterback like Kyler Murray, he don't look to run. He don't look like he's trying to be a Lamar Jackson. He simply does a Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers impersonation. He gets out of the pocket. He scrambles. He's looking. And then you got DeAndre Hopkins. You cannot cover DeAndre Hopkins for not even more than 4 seconds, let alone 10 seconds when Murray's outside of the pocket. So that by itself is the most impossible offense to defend. Then you got, like I always said, out of all 4 of them teams in that division, it's a divisional game. You can't base your opinion off either team based on a game with each other, because the Seahawks are liable to go beat the Rams tonight. But I don't think it will. But that's just that division. It's a division rivalry game that it's anyone's ball game. Trap game, good competitive game, and the Cardinals are the real deal. I will say that. I predicted it was going to be a shootout. I didn't predict Matt Stafford would be a different Matt Stafford this game, but I predicted Kyler Murray, to me, the MVP leader with Josh Allen at this moment. I predicted that he was gonna do the damage this game, and with DeAndre Hopkins and James Conner and AJ Green and Christian Kirkley, that offense might be the best offense in football, clearly.
I agree with that 1,000%. Joe, your thoughts?
Well, I'm going to start off by saying that as we talk about this one, there's a game that I want to talk about for sure. But in regards to this game, I mean, Kevin, you pretty much said it. I mean, I couldn't have said it better myself. I mean, Kyler Murray is no doubt a complete young gun who is on his way to big things in the NFL. No doubt. I mean, especially when you have offensive playmakers like James Conner, like DeAndre Hopkins, like AJ Green, like Christian Kirk, like Rondale Moore. I mean, when you have all those guys on offense who is not really considered an offensive super team, I per se. However, I mean, all 5 of those guys bring a certain aspect to the field. And that's how Arizona continues to stay focused. I mean, Arizona is focused on both sides of the ball. Yeah, they did play Stafford and the Rams, and Stafford, he didn't really have one of his best starts. I mean, he did have one of his best starts, but Stafford still went out and played a great game. He did. He went out and played an absolute great game. But Kyler Murray, I mean, that dude's in a league of his own at this point. I mean, him and Josh Allen are going to be fighting tooth and nail as of right now for that MVP trophy this year. So as long as Kyler Murray continues to play like he does, the Cardinals should have no problem winning games and possibly going deep into the playoffs this year.
Absolutely. Joe, now you said you wanted to talk about one other game before we move on to some NFL, before we do our preview of next week and some NFL news notes. What game do you want to preview? Or what game do you want to look at from this past week?
Well, let's talk about how Lamar Jackson completely overthrew Denver.
Oh, Kevin looked like you were about ready to talk about the 49ers. He looked like
I'd rather talk about the 49ers at this point.
I knew that was coming.
So, you know what? I will say this. That they look pretty tough with Teddy Bridgewater in to start with, but Drew Lock is complete ass. Like he's trash. He's the trash bag that sits beside the toilet with the drunk girl's throw up in it. That is Drew Lock. And I see a whole different team with them, and it's horrible.
It stinks to high heaven. Just like they're playing it against Baltimore. Oh, wait, did I say that?
wow.
Dang.
7 of 16 for Teddy Bridgewater. 65 yards, 1 touchdown.
Should have been 69, but I digress.
Hey!
Not to mention, Bridgewater got knocked out of the game, so Drew Lock had to finish it.
Sure did.
Wah, wah, wah.
Wah, wah, wah.
They're better off just putting the kitchen trash can in behind center. Or forfeiting in.
Hey,
you can say that about the Jets too. Might as well.
Yeah.
Shout out to them for winning.
They won one game. They won one game. They're going to lose the next 12. Okay.
Yes.
But hey, Kevin, I gotta say though, I think Hollywood Brown watched our show last week because he went out and made a great catch on a 49-yard touchdown.
Now he'll, like y'all were saying, hold up. Now he's gonna miss the next 49 attempts.
There are four.
It's gonna be 49 drops.
There are 14 people that know what we're talking about.
Wait a minute. He's gonna rename the song. 99 Problems by Jay-Z. No, he's got 99 targets and ain't catch one. That is Hollywood Brown. He can't score.
Yeah. The Jets have 99 problems, but a Super Bowl ain't one.
Oh yeah. That ain't one. Hell, the playoffs ain't one.
Kevin,
Nice.
I know you want to talk about this game. I know you do, because I know you and I, we're San Francisco fans. I know you want to talk about this game. You're chomping at the bit, buddy.
Go for it.
I'm telling you, I want him now. I've held on so long for Jimmy. I've defended Jimmy to the death because he wins. Jimmy wins. But now it's Trey time. It's time. It's in the Trey area. Trey time. Put him in. As long as you got Trent Williams back for this Sunday, Arizona proved that. I mean, the defense is good. The back secondary is, but their sacks after week 1, Arizona hasn't been sacking anybody. So Trent Williams is going to keep them upright. Let him take a crack at it. I've seen plenty of good from Trey Lance in his first time playing in the regular season, like the second half against Seattle. I've seen a lot of good from him. I like the read option. I like that. I like his, like, after the first 2 or 3 drives, he did look jittery, was scared to throw it, but after that he started warming up, coming into his own. He nearly led a comeback. I want to see Trey Lance with a healthy O-line. I want to see Debo. I want to see Kittle. Debo, by the way, leading the NFL in receiving yards. Let Trey get him the ball. Trey Lance throwing downfield. He's got a gun on him. Let him throw to Ayuk. Let them boys get involved. It's time. You're 2-2. It's time to make a decision, San Fran. Get him in there. I know he's young. I know it's early. At least get him in after the bye week. Let's see what he's got. Seattle has a horrible defense. That was good to let him get his feet wet against one of the worst defenses in the NFL. I like that.
Well, now that her buddy here has gotten that out of the system, we can move forward. Let's move on. Let's move on to our predictions for. Actually, you know what, Kevin? I know you have something you want to get off your chest, so we'll go to the news notes first before we do weekly predictions.
Yes.
Let's talk about the two trades that were made this past week. Former New England Patriots, Stefan Gilmore. He was traded to the Carolina Panthers for I believe it was a 6th-round draft pick.
From 2023, I might
The
add.
2023 6th-round draft pick. And this one right here is that Jalen Smith of the Dallas Cowboys was traded to the Green Bay Packers. Kevin, the floor is yours.
I'm going to start with the Jalen Smith trade. Dallas, smart move on your part. You got a linebacker now that you've proven as a rookie who can be just as effective, if not more effective, that you're going to have to pay in 4 years in Micah Parsons. So you need to go ahead and get situated for that financially, as well as Trayvon Diggs, who looks like you better pay him Jalen Ramsey type money if he has another year like he is starting out now this year. So you need financial cap. You pay DeMarcus Lawrence. Okay, you need your D-line. You got Michael Parsons for dirt cheap. He's on a rookie salary. Go ahead and trade Jalen. Let him go. He's made Jalen Smith was, I think, $9-10 million that no team wanted to even trade for. That's why he got released. No team wanted to trade for him because nobody said he's worth the money. So I get that. And the Packers probably got him on a better deal anyway. So that was a good move by Green Bay. But the biggest one I want to get into was Stefan Gilmore. Like the guy 2 years ago. Lockdown 2 years ago. Now, Carolina people in the short term might say, oh, Carolina got a good deal on him. They only gave up a 6th-round pick for a superstar. A superstar or a has-been superstar. Because the last time I checked, he was out for an injury all year last year, had surgery. He's a 31-year-old corner making way too much money. So if Carolina wants to pay that much money, take that big of a risk on a 31-year-old corner who won't be able to play till week 7, by the way, coming off the PUP list, making that much money and giving up a 6th-round picks, go for it. But I don't see why. You got J.C. Horn and you got Henderson and you got A.J. Boyd. Like, where is he going to play? Is he going to play middle linebacker? I mean, I really don't get Carolina. Stefan Gilmore, like I said, is a 31-year-old cornerback. A skill position being 31-year-old, that's not ideal. You mainly want to keep it down about 26, 27, 28-year-old that can still get it. You're 31 coming off an injury, off a surgery. And Belichick said, get you the hell out of here. You ain't worth all that money at this point. And the fact that they were willing to sacrifice and say, we'll take your next year's 6th-round pick, let you know that they don't have no confidence he's going to be the Stefan Gilmore of 2 years ago.
See, and Belichick knows he's not what he used to be.
Belichick is not dumb when it comes to when he knows his players are not what they used to be. He's like AC/DC. If you're not pulling your weight, he has no problem cutting you loose. It's the same way with AC/DC, the band. The band, if you're not pulling your weight, if you're screwing up, the band has no problem cutting people loose and moving on to the next person. And that's the way Bill Belichick is. Belichick is looking for the elite. He's looking for the best. And if you're not at that level, you're not going to be on the Patriots too long. And that's what he wants. And he understands people have down moments and have down seasons. But Stefan Gilmore, unfortunately, he's like you said, he hasn't had the best season and his age. He's 31 years old. Anytime over 30, people say 30 is like the new 40, but you got to understand in football, it's a lot different. Especially after so many years of taking hits, so many years of delivering hits, so many years of throwing the ball, whatever position you play, those years add up, and those years can lead. Those years, it's like almost like it's like how like a chemical breaks down over time, over years of decay. It's the same way the body is when it comes to this type of physical contact sport. Stefan Gilmore is, like you said, is not the same Stefan Gilmore from a few years ago. He's not. New England made the right decision to get rid of him because they knew They had to do something because otherwise he's not worth the money that they're paying him now. And he's getting paid, and you're right, he is getting paid too much for what he's doing right now.
Now, if he would have took a salary cut, and see, knowing Bill Belichick, you know what you do with corners when they get over 31 if you think they still got some potential? Not only do you try to cut their salary like Bill Belichick wanted, but you do like what he did to Devin McCourty. Move him to safety. Don't let him play one-on-one outside. Let him play safety. Just because at safety, you're protected. You ain't got to play up on the line one-on-one. You're basically just a help guy. Hence, Charles Woodson in his last years. He didn't play corner. They moved him back to safety for Green Bay. Won a championship.
Sure did.
Same way with Devin McCourty is now. Started out lockdown corner, great zone corner. You know what Belichick did? Said, you're getting older, you're getting burnt one-on-one at the line of scrimmage. We're going to bump you back to free safety. Ever since, he's had possibly some Pro Bowl seasons that just wasn't getting noticed in the last 5-6 years.
Absolutely. Joe, any thoughts on the two trades that were announced?
Man, oh man. Was Facebook blowing up or what over the Stefan Gilmore trade?
And they were crashing this week.
Especially among Carolina fans. Because they were saying that, oh my God, we got Stefan Gilmore. Now our secondary is going to be more locked down than ever. Stefan Gilmore ain't going to touch nobody.
But you still give up 120 yards to Zeke on the ground. I don't want to talk about that, though. But okay.
I'll wait.
Yeah, they're saying that we got Stefan Gilmore now. We're going to use him like we did Josh Norman all those years ago. Well, look what that got y'all. Look where
nothing.
That got
Also, Carolina's defensive coordinator that from those years is now the Buffalo Bills head coach. So he took his talent and his defensive game planning talents with him to Buffalo. Just saying.
I really got no comment about Jalen Smith being let go by Dallas and being signed by Green Bay. Because we all said it in the pre-show. The Packers need a linebacker. To bolster that defense. Honestly, I would like to see Jalen Smith go to probably Kansas City because we all know Kansas City needs help on that defense.
Yes.
The look Kevin just gave was priceless. But I agree.
Hey, listen, I tell you what, if you put 11 trash cans out on the other side of the field of an offense, I would take them over Kansas City's defense at this point.
Give them to Houston. They need it.
Definitely.
Hey, even if he did put 11 trash cans out there as Kansas City's defense, I know 3 teams that ain't going to score on them, and that's Houston, the Jets, and Detroit.
Hey, before we preview next week's games, I want to say one thing that gets overlooked by everybody in the sports world here lately.
Go ahead, be my guest.
The best team, you talk about Arizona, like them, but you talk about the AFC, to me, the best team is the Buffalo Bills. I will say that without a shadow of a doubt because Josh Allen, yet again, you talk about with Kyler Murray, Josh Allen is putting on a clinic, and he has a very underrated trio of receivers as well. Cole Beasley, as many of them years as he's done it in Dallas, he's doing even better in Buffalo. Emmanuel Sanders is still looking like he was in Denver them years in Buffalo. Stephon Diggs is Stephon Diggs. He ain't going to drop nothing.
Exactly.
He's doing it. Like that, and then they got probably a top 5 defense that is always overlooked. You got Sean McDermott as the head coach who made Carolina what they was on defense those years ago. Now you got guys like Tre'Davious White, Tremaine Edmonds. You got Pointer back there at safety, Micah Hyde. You got Ed. All that defense is a very, very talented, and I wouldn't be surprised, like we're going to preview it, if they show the world what they can do against Kansas City.
I can't agree. I agree 1,000%. Buffalo Bills are just an absolute monster of a team. They really showcased themselves the past couple of seasons. They've had great moments. I think this team is another team that's very similar to LA Rams. That's going to be a dominant force in their division in the entire NFL in general. I see them being once again another playoff contender because of just how good the team is. Let's go ahead and let's get on to the previews for next week. And of course, we got to start off with tonight's Thursday night game, which will be starting here very shortly.
Hey, it's actually a great game tonight, fellas.
Yep, it's the Seahawks.
I'm surprised.
Seahawks and the Rams. Of course, quick note here, running back for Seahawks, Chris Carson, will not be playing tonight due to a neck injury.
We knocked them out. Courtesy of the 49ers. That's one positive.
That's one great thing about the 49ers from last week out of Benny.
So who y'all like? Who y'all like in this one?
Woo, I'm going with the Rams.
Rams.
Ram, but wait, we got to do our scores. Rams, I'm going to go with the Rams 30-20.
I'm going to say 31-23. Rams.
Damn, Steven, are you Justin Herbert predicting my mind? Because I got 31-23 Rams.
Wow.
I got the Rams scoring 31-23.
Two great minds think alike.
Oh, yes.
Well, I wouldn't call yours great, Steven, but I digress.
Hey, it's better than Ezra. Oh!
Yeah, go fuck yourself, broke Dave Grohl.
Oh,
Yours is
man.
not like the other. Go ahead, Joey.
Oh. I am actually going to drop a bomb on y'all. I'm going the opposite way. I'm going Seattle in this game.
Wow.
I'm going Seattle. I mean, yes, they're going to be without Chris Carson, but Russell Wilson is 4-0 at home in prime time, and he is 9-1 in Thursday night football games. So Russell Wilson, I mean, that skill set is going to show out, and I think it's going to be 27-24 Seattle.
Wow.
I get why you would say
Wow.
that. I get why you would say that because I do say Russ is very, very clutch and very, very good still. But I don't want to bet against, like we were talking about the Rams offense. I don't want to bet against their offense against 11 trash cans on the other side of the field for Seattle's defense. Because their defense is ass.
And Kevin, like you said, their defense is not great.
Not great. That's an understatement. They're horrible. They might be worse than hold on. They might be worse than Drew Lock's capability at quarterback. There we go.
Oh my God.
No. They're worse than Zach Wilson and Trevor Lawrence's capability at quarterback.
Maybe their team too.
In their existence.
They're worse than Lawrence's drumming on St. Anger.
Yes.
We'll get into that discussion at another time. Let's move on forward, shall we? Let's go to let me tell you, London just got the best game this week so far.
Oh, yes, they did. Yes, they did.
They got the Jets and the Falcons.
Whoop they do.
Hey.
9:30 a.m. Eastern start time.
Oh
Good.
my
I'll
God.
still be
I gotta
asleep
wake up.
during that crap.
Hey, is that the best part about waking up? I don't think so.
Hey, listen to this.
I gotta say real quick. I think this is gonna be the one game where we see not 11, but 44 trash cans out there.
This
I
game,
think we're gonna see it.
Listen to this. Rookie quarterbacks are 0-4 London games on minus 78-point differential.
Oh
I'm
no.
not
I guess
surprised.
they hate traveling to London. The food sucks there.
All right, Governor. Let's see.
And not to
No,
mention
no,
the
but
Brady.
seriously, if
And not to mention the
I'm
London
going-
Bridge
you know
fall
what?
down and trap him in London.
you know what, I'm gonna. Just you know what, this is a tough one.
Did you choke up on it now? Hold up.
Is it tough?
I'm not gonna choke. I'm not gonna choke. I'm not like the.
You want me to
Atlanta
start
Falcons.
the bombshell off then?
Hey,
Because
hey,
I'm going
not
with
gonna-
the
hey,
Jets.
Hey, I'm not.
I'm
I'm
going
not
with
gonna.
the
I'm not
Jets.
gonna. I am too.
What?
I dropped the
I'm not
bomb
gonna.
right there.
Don't worry. I wasn't gonna choke there. I'm not the Atlanta Falcons when they're up 28. When they're up 28 points.
Yeah, but this time, bro, the Falcons won't even score 28 in this game. They
Oh,
won't have a chance to win this one.
um,
Here's my score. I got the Jets. 21, Falcons 10. No
Whoa.
Calvin Ridley. They're going to be horrible.
14 to 10.
Damn.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Woo.
Can we put a negative score in there? Because, I mean, negative 10.
I'm actually going to agree with you guys here. I'm going to Jets, but
Holy
score's
shit.
gonna
When did
be-
this happen?
my score is going to be just a little bit closer than Ezra's. His was 14-10. I'm going 13-10.
Wow.
Steven?
All right. I cannot believe I'm about to say this. But I'm actually picking the Jets for once in my life.
Wait a minute.
I thought you were gonna say you're a fan of Lulu.
No. Hell to the no. No, hell no.
Just kidding.
Wait a minute.
Just kidding. Nobody's a fan of that record.
No,
we all
terrible-
picked the
Terrible
Jets.
album.
Yeah,
We
we
all
all
picked the
picking
Jets.
the
Is that where
Jets.
we're
We're
going?
all
I mean, what is wrong
picking
with us?
the Jets.
What's your score, Steven?
We are all
What's your
picking
score?
the Jets. What is wrong with us?
Oh my God. But you know what? I think this game is going to be an even lower score. 9-6. The Jets.
I tell you what.
Oh
if I-
my Lord!
Wait a minute. Hold up. I'm going to wake up Sunday morning, cut
I
on my
said it.
TV, drink me a big old sip of coffee and go, this game sucks. I'm going to go take a leak and I'm going to cut the TV off and it's going to put me in a pissy mood watching a game like that according to all three of y'all scores. Good God. Horrible. I'm not even going to watch it then. Just update it on my phone.
Refresh.
Okay. The next game we have is the Lions and the Vikings.
Oh, my God.
Oh my God.
It is going to take place in Minnesota at USA Bank Stadium.
Okay. Minnesota, I think it's going to win this game. 24.
Nada.
24-13.
Vikings 2013.
Okay.
I got a close one, guys. I got Vikings 24-20.
Wow.
That's a good one.
Nice.
All right, Joe.
Once again, the football guys are going to look down on Detroit and say, you guys are never going to win a game. Vikings 31, Detroit 17.
Whoa. All right.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
All right.
All right, the next one is Washington football team and the Saints at FedEx Field.
Okay, I'm going to go last. You guys go ahead.
One quick note. Washington has allowed 30.5 points per game this season. That is third most in the entire NFL.
I'm going to go with the Saints. I'm going to say they're going to continue allowing 30-plus points. I'm going to say 30-20.
I'm gonna go 27-14 Saints over Washington football team.
I got Saints, but I got 28-27.
Whoa.
Hold on now. As much as Jameis is going to throw 2 touchdowns to the Saints, and he's also going to go throw 2 touchdowns to the football team as well. So keep it kind of
I
interesting.
figured you said that.
And then after the game is over, he's gonna get mad and go steal some gas station crab legs.
Then he's going to eat a W.
Absolutely. Okay, Joe.
Oh, are you guys ready?
I love putting you guys on the fly.
Oh, here we go. What you
Are
got,
you
Joe?
guys ready for this?
Are you
As
ready?
big as a Washington fan I am, I'm going to Saints this week.
Hey-o.
Oh,
I'm going to Saints. It's going to be 31-20.
You trust that crab leg thief?
He'll pick that too.
I don't trust the crab leg thief. I do, however, trust Alvin Kamara. I do trust him.
Score is so good it'll make you slap your mama. Anyways, next one is the Patriots and the Texans, 2 1-3 teams at Energy Stadium.
Oh God. I'm gonna go ahead and start off this one.
All right.
All right.
If Mac Jones comes out with the same mindset that he did against the GOAT Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Bucks, and as long as that defense has that same mindset that they used against Tampa, Houston ain't going nowhere near victory.
Nowhere.
So I'm gonna say an absolute blowout here. I'm gonna say 38-14.
Cool. I'm gonna go 31-10.
27-10 for me, New England.
Yeah. Same.
30-7 for me, New England.
Okay.
Whoa.
Okay, rookie quarterbacks are 1-10 versus New England since 2014 as a little stat.
Interesting.
Yep. Next one is the Bucks and the Dolphins at Raymond James Stadium. I'm gonna start this one off. Tampa Bay 34, Dolphins 17.
35-14 for me, Tampa Bay.
Nice.
I'm going low. I'm going Tampa Bay. I'm going 24-14.
Oh man, I'm telling you, if Miami can't beat broken ribs man Carson Wentz, then they sure as hell ain't gonna beat Tom Brady. I'm going Bucks 31, Dolphins 13.
Trade for Watson now.
Yes.
Come on, Miami. Make that call.
Make that call.
All right. Next one is the Packers and the Bengals at Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati. Both teams 3-1. Cincinnati has won 3 of its last 4 games versus Green Bay. I'm gonna go with. I hate to, and this absolutely eats away at my soul.
It's painful for you to say.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Green Bay, but it's gonna be close. I'm gonna go 27-24.
24-20 for me, Green Bay.
Agree with Ezra. However, I'm going Cincinnati 27.
Whoa!
I hope you're right, Kevin. I pray to God.
I'm going on that. I trust in Joe Burrow.
Upset special.
It is time to shine.
You kind of took me off guard.
Well,
I'm going. I think Joe Burrow is another guy who people don't realize. I think he's going to be a part of the future as well.
Yeah, I think so too. It's another quarterback. I think it's going to be a part of that wave of the future. I think they're going to really stamp out.
Plus, knowing that the Packers got Jair Alexander's going to be out, so their number 1 corner's out, and Jamar Chase is going to be all over the field.
Absolutely. Joe, your prediction for Green Bay versus Cincinnati?
Well, first off, I want to say I apologize for that, guys. But
shit happens.
Hey,
come on.
not only did she catch you off guard, but Kevin's score caught me off guard, so it worked out perfectly.
Oh.
But oh boy, I'm gonna go 27-20 Packers.
Ooh, nice.
Nice.
I'm going
All right.
27-20.
All right, cool. Next game up is Broncos and the Steelers at Heinz Field.
No, dear God.
Denver. Right here. I'm gonna do. It's gonna be Denver 30, Steelers 10.
Oh my God.
I have no faith in the Steelers team at all.
I cannot believe I'm fixing to say this, but I have.
Oh no! Don't say it.
I have Denver. I have Denver winning this game, 27-17.
Okay.
Now y'all want to come around on Denver against the bunch of trash cans.
No. Kevin, listen. I do not trust Pittsburgh whatsoever.
Okay. You want to know my score?
Yes, go ahead.
I'm going 17-3, Denver.
Wow.
The only reason I didn't go, hear me out. The only reason I didn't go higher for Denver is because of Drew Lock. He's going to most likely start. I don't like that trash can, but I'd rather have that trash can with legs than to have Big Ben Roethlisberger, who's a trash can sitting on a pole waiting to get teed off on. So I'd rather have Drew Lock, trash can.
Theme of the night, ladies and gentlemen, trash cans.
And you ain't even got to throw the ball. Just hand the ball off to guys like Sultan Sultan and Melvin Gordon. Just hand them the ball. They'll beat Pittsburgh. Simple.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that Kevin Ayers taking out the trash, let's move on to the next game.
I gotta say though, Big Ben is gonna act like a lint doodle again. I say Denver 24, Pittsburgh 6.
Wow.
You trust the trash can like Drew Lock for 24 points? Wait a minute. Hold on. You must have a defensive touchdown in there somewhere from Denver because I don't believe Drew Lock is capable.
I do. Pick 6.
Yeah, Denver. Pick 6 by their superstar corner, that rookie.
Patrick Surtain.
Yep.
Man, what's going on here? I have no idea what the hell is going on right now. Oh my goodness. Let's go ahead and move forward on to the next game, which is, of course, the Eagles and the Panthers at Bank of America Stadium. Before we get into the scores, I've been neglecting this. We got to say hi to everybody that's in the chat right now on YouTube here. We got Tony Justice, our buddy Stephen P.A., Steve Lawson, Deb Housen, Ashley Hudson, of course, Ashley, our good friend. We have a lot of great people in this chat right now. Thank you to everybody watching right now. We appreciate it. What's up, everybody? And we'll talk to you all soon. Let's go ahead and move on to that game. Like I said, Eagles and Panthers, Bank of America Stadium. Panthers 3-1, Eagles 1-3.
Oh man, I'm gonna go with Carolina. 21-14.
I hate Carolina. Just give me Carolina.
I know.
27-17. Carolina. Philly sucks. Their offense ain't got shit. Carolina scores 27.
But trash cans.
I've never seen how the football gods love Carolina. They give them the easiest schedule to start the season I've ever seen.
I'm gonna go with Carolina. I'm gonna go 24-17. It's gonna be a competitive one, I think.
All right.
Well,
here's a little factoid. Hurts and Donald both ranked top 10 in combined pass and rushing yards this season.
Impressive.
Yep.
All right. Well, I picked against the Panthers, I think, for 2 weeks in a row now. I picked against them in week 3, and I picked against them in week 4. And let me say that there's one guy that I've been talking to that has given me some backlash for not picking another one of those games. And I don't know if you're watching this, Tony Dixon, but props to you, my brother. But I'm actually going to pick the Panthers this week. I'm actually going to please my good friend Tony Dixon, who may be watching this show tonight. I'm actually going to please him and pick the Panthers. I'm going to go Panthers 31, Eagles 24.
Ooh.
Real quick here, Tony Justice put Panthers 30, Eagles 21. And it's our buddy Steve. Steve PA put Panthers 34, Eagles 28. Wow. It's a great scores.
Nice score, Steve.
Yep. And Ashley Hudson put, I can't do scores because math is hard. Actually, you can't do math, but we love you nonetheless. You're awesome. Let's move on to the next game. The Titans and the Jaguars. TIA Bank Field. Sorry, Tony Khan, but your team is about to suck again.
Again.
I'm going to go with the Titans. I'm going to go 24-10.
The exact same score, 24-10.
I'm going 24-13 Titans.
Last week, the Titans lost to a rookie quarterback. That ain't going to happen this week. The Titans are going to get revenge on the rookie quarterbacks this week. I'm going to say Tennessee 31, Jacksonville 14.
Ooh.
Okay.
Very nice. Very nice. Let's go ahead and let's go to the next one. This one should be really good. 4:05 start. Chargers and the Browns at SoFi Stadium. 3-1.
Yes.
Justin Herbert has a 7-1 record in the last 8 games.
Tell you what, I started off with this bombshell. I'm going Chargers. I'm going Chargers 31-28 against the Browns.
Nice.
Nice, dude.
I'm gonna go 34-31 Chargers over the Browns. It's gonna be a close game. I think the Browns are gonna really pour it on this week. And by the way, shout out to Anthony. Shout out to our buddy Anthony in Nebraska, who's a huge Browns fan, man. Shout out to him. Go ahead, guys. Who's next? Steven?
I'm so torn with this game. This game could go either way. Oh man. You know what? I'm gonna bite the bullet and pick LA 34-31.
Nice.
Well, Sports Center ran a story this morning on Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield has been struggling this year ever since he had a near perfect performance in week 1 against Kansas City.
Words out of my mouth.
Baker Mayfield has been struggling. Do I think he's going to pick it up this game? Very, very possible. But do I think he's really going to? Maybe a little. I'm going to go 34-20 Chargers.
Okay. That's fair.
And I tell you what, this might make the Chargers. They just better watch out for one player who is honestly single-handedly, literally keeping the Browns in at winning right now. Like you said, with Baker struggling, and his name is a Defensive Player of the Year candidate so far, Myles Garrett. This guy is a beast of a person. Don't get your quarterback, Justin Herbert, tore up by Myles Garrett, because it ain't going to be pretty.
And not to mention, the Chargers defense needs to watch out for that 2-headed running back monster in Cleveland. With Kareem
yes, they
Hunt,
do, because that can win Cleveland the game.
They have Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. The Chargers defense needs to watch out for them.
Agree.
Awesome.
Agree.
Awesome. Steve, our buddy Steve, once again, Steve at PA put Chargers 38, Browns 24.
Ooh.
Wow.
I can see that. I can see that very well. Yep. Great spoiler, Steven. Definitely we're shouting you guys out. I mean, these are some of our best friends. Me and Steven know these guys for years. And, these guys have always been supporters of us, especially when doing this show. So thank you guys. Thanks,
guys.
Let's move on to the next game. The Raiders taking on the Bears at Allegiant Stadium.
I'm going to start this one out. I think Vegas is going to get back on track with a win against Chicago. I think they're going to win 24-13.
Okay. Despite me being a Chicago fan, I'd root for my team 1,000%. I'm not going to act crazy. I'm gonna go realistic. I'll go with the Bears 34. No. I'm gonna go with the Raiders. I think it's gonna be a little bit closer than Steven's score. I think it's going to be 24-20.
Ooh.
I think Justin Fields is going to have a real good performance this week. I think his throwing is going to be a little more accurate. I think he's going to be more confident this week. I mean, this is a tough team he's facing, but I have faith in Justin. I have faith that he's going to get better as the weeks progress.
I got it, a one possession score. I got 28-20. The Raiders.
Okay.
All
right, Joe.
All right. I'm actually gonna go 27-21 here. I think the Raiders are gonna pull this one out, but I do agree with you, Ezra. Justin Fields is gonna be very clutch in this game. He started to prove it last week when he completed 4 passes of 25 yards or more. So I think it's going to be clutch again this week. Derek Carr is going to pull it out, but Justin Fields is going to keep it close.
Awesome. Okay, let's move on to the next game. Kevin, you're not going to like this one. The Cards and the 49ers at State Farm Stadium.
Oh boy.
I'm going to start this one off. I'm sorry, Kevin. I got to go Arizona beating the 49ers. I'm going to go 34-24.
My exact same score.
Nice. Okay.
I am actually going to go 38-27 Arizona.
Well, I believe in the upset here. I'm going 33-30 overtime. San Fran.
Whoa!
Wait, hear my reasoning. Last 2 years, even though they didn't have who they got now, but you got a young team like Arizona, and when I say young, I mean young, who is undefeated. They just beat a conference championship hopeful in LA. I feel like they're going to have a hangover. They're going to be sluggish. I feel like we're going to start Trey Lance. Kyle Shanahan's going to have a little bit of magic with them read option run plays, and Arizona won't know how to defend that. I feel like our defense is still going to let us down because we ain't got no D coordinator. But I feel like it's a trap game, a divisional rivalry game that I feel like. And then here's the big thing. It's on the road in Arizona. That's San Francisco's home away from home. They played in Arizona all last year at home games. So they don't like playing. They don't like winning in Santa Clara. They like winning on the road. So you know what? Give me them in overtime, 33-30.
All right.
All right. Now let's move on to the next game, which is the Giants and the Cowboys at AT&T Stadium.
Dallas, all the way.
Dallas. I'm gonna go Dallas. I'm gonna go Dallas 27. Giants 10.
I'm gonna go 34-10 Dallas.
Damn. Very nice.
I'm going to go 34-20 Dallas.
Wow.
Here we go. Ready for this?
Boy.
Oh, no.
Are you ready
Here we go.
I got Dallas 24. The New York Football Giants 26. They gonna catch Dallas in the trap game. Divisional game, prime time, or game of the week. Give me the Giants. I'm going to Giants.
I don't know you.
I cannot believe this.
No, you
26,
didn't.
24.
No, the hell you just
I
did,
feel like
sir.
you know how. Hold on, we see this saga every year.
Wow.
Hold on, we see this saga every year.
Please.
Every damn year. The Cowboys get hot. They start getting hot. Then they suck in one game and they slip up and they stink it up. And this is a divisional rivalry game on a game of the week, 4:00 game. Give me the Giants. It won't happen the next time.
Wow.
Speaking of said stinking, sir, I'm sorry, but this prediction stinks.
I'm going to Giants.
Wow. Wow.
Give me the Giants.
Okay,
That's
real,
all I have to say.
okay, let's before we move forward and get out of this absolute disgrace of a score type of thing that Kevin just gave out. Tony, our buddy Tony Justice, of course, massive Cowboys fan from Texas himself. Cowboys 42, Giants 7.
There we go.
Oh,
That's
God.
what we're talking about.
And then
Yeah, Lord.
Steve, of course, Steve at PA, Cowboys 31, Giants 30. He also put that
Whoa.
I can
Dallas
see
can't
that.
stop a rushing. You put Dallas can't stop a rushing quarterback. So, okay, let's move forward to the next game, which is the Bills and the Chiefs at the Arrowhead Stadium.
Oh,
Yes.
Rematch of the 2020 AFC Championship game.
I'm going last here, you guys. I'm going last.
Okay, you know what? Oh, so tough. This is a tough one. I'm gonna go with the. I gotta go with. Damn. Can't. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go Kansas City.
All right.
I'm gonna go Kansas City. It's gonna be 34-31.
Mm.
It's gonna be close. It's gonna be super close. God,
Upset special. Yes, I just said it. Sorry, Ash. Buffalo 38-35.
I don't even call that an upset, Steven. Buffalo right now is better than Kansas City. It's easy
But
to
see,
see.
everybody is high on Kansas City, when it comes to some of the no. Buffalo is the team, like you said. Nobody is high on Buffalo.
Do I trust playoff Mahomes? Yes, I do. This isn't the playoffs.
If this is the playoffs, I absolutely agree.
Struggling. The Bills are streaking. I got the Bills 44-28.
Whoa.
Wow.
Like
you just said,
the Chiefs can't stop the Eagles. How are you going to stop Josh Allen and Stefan Diggs and Moss and Cole Beasley? Man, get out of here. You ain't going to – you're going to give up at least 4 touchdowns.
If this was the
Josh
playoffs,
Allen.
you were spot on. I trust Mahomes 100% if this is the postseason. But the way Buffalo is playing right now, Buffalo, I think, is going to take this game.
Wow.
All right. Are you guys ready for my score?
What you got?
I have been thinking about this score throughout this whole week. Oh, man.
Damn, Joey don't have an orgasm over the score. Hold on now.
All right. Score is going to be, it's going to come down to a game-winning field goal by Buffalo. I'm saying Buffalo 45, Kansas City 42.
Wow, look at you.
Going high. I like that.
45 to 42.
Okay.
All
right. The final score to run down for the final game run here. Colts and the Ravens for Monday Night Football at M&T Bank Stadium. Lamar Jackson is 7-0, the only quarterback since 1970 with 5+ starts and 0 losses in October.
I know Jackson has been. I know Jackson has had his struggles at times this year so far, but come on, this is an easy game to predict. Baltimore 27-3. Yes, I said it. 27-3.
I'm gonna go same score, 27-3, Baltimore.
I do not trust Indianapolis at all. At all. They're gonna get killed by the Ravens.
I'm gonna say it. The Colts, you're absolutely right. Their offense is hideous. They suck ass. But I do say the Colts, when trying, they got a decent defense with Darius Leonard. I will give them that. I feel like Darius Leonard will be able to contain Lamar semi, but I still got the Ravens winning 21-10.
Interesting.
I got the Ravens 34.
When Hollywood Brown dropping 7 passes. gotta add that.
Well, I'm actually going to one-up you, Kevin. I think Hollywood Brown is only going to drop 2 passes. He's going to catch, I think, 6 passes for, I'll give 110 yards and a touchdown.
Let me
I'm
guess.
going-
Let me guess. He dove for every one of those passes, though, right? Because that's the only time he can catch.
Wait, Jackson's going to overthrow him again? Oops, I'm sorry.
I'm going Baltimore 34, Colts 10.
Okay. See,
Okay.
Ashley here. Ashley said that she's put before we started doing our scores. She put, if any of you say anyone but Ravens, you're dead to me. No pressure.
Hey.
Ashley, you're awesome. All right,
Ashley,
Awesome,
don't worry,
Ashley.
I got you this week.
Ashley, thank you for joining us. Have a great night. We'll talk with you soon. Yeah, the great scores, everybody. Great scores, great rundown. We went through those quick notes on the NFL. So let's go ahead and do a quick score update, and then we'll finish off the show with a couple other quick notes that I want to get to here real quick. So let's go ahead. Let's head to ESPN.com right now. Let's go to the scores because right now we also got the MLB playoffs starting as well.
Yep.
So right now we've got the ALDS game 1. The Rays. Right here, the Rays are beating the Red Sox 2-0 in the bottom of the second, and the Astros destroyed the White Sox 6-1.
Wow.
Leading the series in the ALDS 1-0.
How about that game last night between the Dodgers and the
Yeah, definitely. That was a great game. Classic walk-off.
yes,
Go
Chris
Dodgers.
Taylor with the
Walk-off by the
2-run
Dodgers.
homer
By the congratulations to the Dodgers
against
They're moving
St.
on.
Louis. That was great.
I
Great.
believe they're taking on the Giants, right?
Oh, yeah,
Correct.
that's
In
going to
San
be
Francisco.
a hell of a series.
That's going to be a hell of a
Yes.
series, and they're going to face each other, I believe, for the first time ever.
Yep.
Yeah, because
They've
San
never
Francisco,
They've never faced each other.
San Francisco is the reason the Dodgers didn't win the division. They were a 100-win team and couldn't win the division because of the Giants.
And I think
Now-
San Francisco is going to be the reason why the Dodgers don't even make it to the championship series. I think the Giants are going to win this series in 6.
Absolutely, I agree.
All right, well, hang on.
What's up?
Dodgers.
There's one other series we need to talk about. I
Oh,
don't know-
hell, the
and I
damn
don't know-
Braves.
I don't know if you guys caught it on my shirt, but I'm repping my Braves.
Hey,
We
can y'all
start
put some
playing against
explicit
Milwaukee.
around that shirt?
Unfortunately,
just
I
mark
don't
it
know
out.
how to censor a live feed.
Ah,
Hey.
shit.
This
Yeah,
is Zoom, not a network thing where I can do the pixelation.
Yeah, we start playing against Milwaukee tomorrow night. I'm ready to see my boys take the field, and I'm ready to see us beat the Brewers in 5 or 6.
Please
I'm
do.
ready to see it.
Please do. Please stomp the Brewers for me.
Please.
I'm ready to see it. I want
I
to see
hate
it.
I
happen
hate the
so
Brewers
bad.
actually. All right. Now that we got that in, let's go ahead and a couple other quick notes I want to get to is that let's go to the NBA real quick. As you know, I believe regular season for the NBA starts October 19th, and we've already started preseason. Already, Trevor Ariza is out for 8 weeks with having to go under a debridement surgery in his ankle. He's of course a player for the Lakers. One other thing I want to get to on NBA is the big news that broke out today, and that is that 18 ex-NBA players are being charged in a healthcare fraud scheme. $4 million. $4 million in money frauded away from the healthcare system in the NBA. And here's some of the names that are on that list. Terrence Williams. You got Terrence Williams. You've got Tony Allen.
Oh.
You've got
Oh,
Yep. You've got a couple other names here. You've got Sebastian Telfair,
oh wow.
Glenn Davis,
Damn, that fat
Glenn
son.
Big Baby Davis.
Mhm.
Shannon Brown,
Oh wow.
Melvin Alive, Anthony Roten, Ruben Patterson, and Darius Miles. Those are just some of the names.
Wow.
That are those are
Wow.
also. This comes weeks after a couple NFL players, Clinton Portis, Tamarick Vanover, and Robert McCune were all pleaded guilty for their roles in a nationwide healthcare fraud scheme. All these men are facing some
Crazy.
serious charges and some very good amounts of jail time
Absolutely crazy.
for defrauding a type of government, almost like a government health agency in a sense.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, we're going to switch over to the NHL real quick and talk about Evander Kane. Evander Kane was a guy who recently was investigated for betting on his own NHL games, which the NHL found no reason that is true at all. They did an investigation and found no evidence of that. However, he's being investigated for two other things. He's being investigated for a possible sexual assault against his estranged wife, and he's also being looked at for possibly using a fake vaccination card, which, as you know, is a federal offense.
Yeah.
So things are not looking good for, I believe he is a San Jose Shark, if I'm not mistaken.
You are correct with that.
Yep.
He might turn into the San Jose inmate. Fake vaccine cards.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely going to go to jail for that. Definitely.
Yep. Yep. It is legal in the United States and Canada, and is against NHL rules. So, right now, as of right now, there's no other details except for that he is being investigated right now at this point, for that. Before we end the show, I want to get into a couple quick MMA news. Steven, you'll understand some of this stuff. Holly Holm is injured and will not be fighting in her upcoming fight at, I believe it's at UFC Fight Night 135.
Correct.
Yeah, she's injured and she will be replaced by, believe her last name is Ladd. I'm looking it up right now. Aspen Ladd. She'll fight Norma Dumont in the main event at a UFC Fight Night 195.
That's next weekend, right? On the 16th?
Yes, I believe so. And one other thing, real quick, here is I believe it's Patricio Pitbull, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Patricio Pitbull has vacated the Bellator Light Heavyweight Championship. Because instead his brother Patricky Pitbull will fight for the vacant title in the main event of Bellator 270, which will happen at the 3 Arena in Dublin on November 5th. He said it's time for the lightweight division to move on and for his brother Patricky to have his shot. So Pitbull is deciding he wants a different fight, and it's wanted to not be for a title, so he's out. And also, it looks like, after what we saw on AEW Dynamite last night, that former UFC champion contender Junior Dos Santos will eventually be making his AEW debut.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yep. He was a part of course, a segment with Dan Lambert, who has been a part of AEW for a while, trashing AEW roster, and he physically got involved in a brawl with the Inner Circle, Sammy Guevara, and Chris Jericho and Jake Hager. So eventually we'll be seeing the former UFC, like I said, the former UFC heavyweight title contender in the squared circle instead of the 8-sided cage.
Yep.
And I believe that wraps up the show for today. So before, of course, we'll get to our final thoughts. First off, I want to say thank you to everybody for watching the show tonight. Everybody in the chat, Joni Justice, Steve and PA, Ashley, anybody else who was in the chat, anybody who's watching this live, thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
We deeply appreciate your support as always. We couldn't do it without you guys. So it's been a great show. Quick final thoughts from me, and I'll let everybody else speak their mind. It was an awesome show. Once again, great discussion, great scores from everybody. Great breakdown of last week's games. Great participation from our crew. It was just another great show on a list of great shows. Can't wait till next week. We got another great NFL schedule. Of course, we're gonna get more into the MLB playoffs once they begin. The ALDS has begun. The NLDS will begin shortly. So it's gonna be an awesome week of sports. Kevin, your final thoughts.
Yep, you're right. It's going to be a great week in sports. You got, like I said, I'm a big fan of NBA, NFL, NBA starting back soon, preseason. NFL's getting ramped up and right in the thick of things. It's going to be good to talk about damn Cowboys sometime when they start to crash. Gotta love it. How about them Cowboys? Sarcastic, by the way.
Tony, you might want to turn
fan.
Tony, you might want to turn the feed off before it turns into a Cowboy hate fest. All right. Yeah. No, you're just kidding. We love you, Tony Justice. Joe, your final thoughts.
Once again, this was a great show. I love coming on here. Ever since my very first show, this has been an absolute dream of mine to be able to do this with you guys. And I'm looking forward to doing this every single week. I enjoy getting on here and talking sports with the three of y'all. And honestly, I look forward to being a regular on this show every single week. Awesome. I just love it to death.
Absolutely, brother. All right, Steven.
Man, what an awesome show once again when you find gentlemen. Talking about the NFL and giving our scores, those are always fun and entertaining. And once again, shout out to everybody in the chat tonight. Steve, Tony, Ashley, everybody out there in the chat. And just a great show with you guys. And it's going to be a great weekend of football. And on top of that, it'll be my birthday Sunday. So I'm looking forward to spending my birthday checking out some football action. And just the games, there's a lot of great games this week. And that Bills and Chiefs game is going to be the best game I think of the entire weekend. Just a high scoring game, and can't wait to talk about it next week. And like as I said at the top of the show, you can follow us on Twitter at ON_sports show, Facebook.com/Nation Sports Show, and on the YouTube page. We need to get 100 subscribers to get that custom URL. We need it so you guys could find the channel much, much, much easier. You can also follow The Nation's Corner on Twitter at Nation's Corner, Facebook.com/The Nation's Corner, YouTube.com/The Nation's Corner, talking about all things professional wrestling. And my goodness. NFL is in full swing. It's going to be another great weekend. There's probably going to be some games this weekend that are going to shock us. Just like Kevin's score with the Giants winning that game. I don't know how the hell that's possible. But anyways, Ezra, take us on, buddy.
Absolutely. Don't forget, like Steven said, the Nation's Corner will happen, of course, this Saturday at 7/6 Central, youtube.com/Nation's Corner. Going to be talking a lot of great things about this weekend, including AEW Dynamite, where one of our very three hosts on that show, Deb Housen, was at this past week. Of course, being featured prominently on camera multiple times. If you've seen a lovely lady painted half-face as Darby Allin during the entrance of Darby, you know that was her, along with her buddy, along with her boyfriend Seth. They were there live, and they'll be talking about that on the Nation's Corner this weekend. Once again, 7/6 Central, youtube.com/The Nation's Corner. And for Kevin Rorie, for Joseph Thornton, and for Stevie Wyand, I am Ezra Vickery. And we will see you right here for another edition of our Nation Sports Show. Take care.
Turn me up.